Hello y'all, I'm Tina and welcome back to my book and craft corner. Yeah. A bit since I've filmed, but I guess not as long as the last time I uploaded a vlog. So today is August 1st and this is going to be a reading vlog where I try to read all of Nora Roberts books published in 1988. I think so. 1988, 1989, in 1 month. I'm gonna try to read all of those books that had published in that year in a month. Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. I'm a bit nervous because I was hoping to pick a different year to read from, but we're gonna do 1988 or 1989, and it is going to be good, hopefully. So, I guess let's start at where I got the idea from. So I just have been thinking about this for a while. I wanted to do this for a very long time, either on my own or vlogging it, where I picked a year and tried to read all the books from the year. And so what I did, there's a readathon going on this weekend where you do a poll pick. So you put a couple books out there and people vote on them, and whatever one wins, you read for that prompt. Right. So I decided to put a few Nora years into the poll and let people choose, and then I would pick one book from that year to read for the readathon. And I picked one that would also coincide with a different prompt. But the readathon really has nothing to do with this. It just kind of it picked the year, so I guess it does have something to do with this. I was hoping for 2010, but honestly, we're good. I'm actually really liking the year that has been picked. So we're gonna go through all the books that are published in this year, and then we're going to just talk about what I'm going to be reading for this. So I don't have a list in front of me. I actually do. Recently got printed out Nora's entire backlist. She has a link on her website to a printable list. That one is only to 2024, but if you go on her blog, you scroll down to the bottom, it's kind of hard to find. You'll get the one that has the 4 books she's publishing in 2025 on it as well. So it's over there hanging on my wall. I put it in a frame I got from Walmart, but I can't see the books obviously because it's really far away and very small font. Yeah, so let's get into these books. So there are let's just go through the ones I have. I know 1 or 2 that I actually don't have physically that I'll be talking about. So I've only ever read 1 book from this year. I haven't read any other books from this year, so I have a good bit to go through. Okay, the first one we have here is Local Hero. I don't really know what this is about. Maybe neighbors, maybe single parent. I don't know. The cover is pretty wintry. There we go. I don't know. I'm excited to read it, kind of. I think this is gonna be the first one I'm gonna read because it also works for another prompt for the readathon I'm doing this weekend. Rebellion. This is the 6th, I think the 6th book in the McGregor series. This is the first book. I guess it isn't the first book that goes back in time, but it is one of the books that goes back in time. This is set in the 18-somethings. I don't know exactly when. Oh, it's set in 1735, or maybe it's set in 1745. There we go. And it's following a Scottish woman and a English man, and the main character. I read the first couple of chapters of this before. So the main character has some serious trauma from Englishmen. They were very violent against her family in front of her when she was a child. Very graphically described. And now she's kind of maybe have a romance with an Englishman who I think is friends with her brother as well. So he's not like an evil man, like the man who hurt her family prior, but he is an Englishman. So I'm very excited about this book. I actually picked this year to read because it has this book and I really want to get to it. So yes, very excited for that one. Then we have Irish Rose. Ooh, I'll move that out of the way. We have Irish Rose. This is the 2nd book in the first series Nora ever worked on, or the first book Nora ever did. So Nora published, what was it called? Irish Thoroughbred, yes. Irish Thoroughbred was the first book she ever published in 81, and she finally got back to the series with, I believe, a cousin of the main character. I read the first couple chapters of it before, and I put it down, but it was enjoyable when I read it, so I'm excited to get back to this one as well. Then we have Name of the Game. I have no clue what this is about. I thought it was about baseball, but I don't think so. I also thought this was like a casino, but I don't think it is, because like these people are like, these are famous people. Maybe it is a casino and we're doing like a Vegas wedding. I don't know. Producers, game show producer. Okay, maybe a game show. An actor. Okay. And the last line of this is, the last line. He wanted to win this game, dash, and the name of the game was love. Interesting. Okay, I'm actually now excited about this one. I was kind of worried before that. And then we have 3 books in a series. 1, 2, 3. I haven't started the series. I do know about the series, like, because in one of my other favorite series by her, I believe it's those books right there, I don't know how to say it because it's a Ukrainian last name, is the name of the series, and one of the characters visits this family. I believe it's an Irish family. They're Ukrainian. This family's Irish, maybe. I think it's about actresses. Sorry, you might be able to hear my dad weed eating outside. There is one more book in the series, and I think it was written a bit later on, and it's following maybe a brother or maybe like a son. So yes, that is all for the books I have. Well, I should maybe say the titles. The Last Honest Woman, Dance of the Piper, there we go, and Skin Deep. I don't know which order it is in. I know this one's first, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there were 2 other books throughout this year that I don't own. The first one of those 2 is Brazen Virtue. I don't own it, and I've also read it before. It's the only one I read. I really, really like this one. It is the second book in a series, and I didn't read the first book, which was published the year before. And then there is a standalone, like, romantic suspense, and that is Sweet Revenge. Yes, and I just looked for this book, like, I don't know, like a half an hour ago, whatever. And I don't think the audiobook exists, or at least in, like, it's not like floating around anywhere. Like, it's not on Audible, it's not on any play, like, I just can't find it. So I'm probably not going to be able to read Sweet Revenge this month. We'll see what happens. I will keep searching for it. Hopefully I'll be able to find it. But if I'm not able to find it, I figured I might as well just read the first book to Brazen Virtue, Sacred Sins, I believe that's the name. Sacred Sins? Scared Sins? Not sure. I think I might just read that one, because it'll be like for Brazen Virtue, because I'm not going to read that, but also for a romantic suspense that I won't be able to read as well. So if I can't find that, then I'll go ahead and read Scared Sins or Sacred Sins, whatever the title of that book is. So yes, that is the plan for the month, is to read all these books. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm kind of concerned, but I'm gonna hope everything's just gonna be fine. And I'm hoping to have a bit of a fun time this month. And yeah, this is gonna be exciting. I'm excited. And also, the next Nora I finish will be my 90th Nora ever. So that's also really exciting. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I will update as I read and start these books. Try not to include too much of my life and me rambling, but I mean, that's pretty hard to do. I like including little details about my life. Okay, I'll talk to y'all when I need to tell y'all something that's going on. Bye-bye. Okay, so it's about 10:40 p.m. on the 1st, and I'm going to be starting my first book of the month, my first Nora from this list of the month. I was gonna start it earlier, but I just didn't feel like it. So yes, so this is the edition. This is one of the editions I have. It is like a first edition. It's a first edition, but I don't feel like, I don't want to mess up the spine more, or It's already cracked, but I just don't want to break it because I feel like that might happen. It's happened before, so I'm going to use the other edition I have. It's just like a random bind up. I don't know when this came out, but it has Unfinished Business in it as well. Obviously not going to be reading that. I'm just going to skip to Local Hero, which, where does it begin? Begins right here. Yes, and now I need to make a bookmark for it. So this is, so I have, I don't know why it's funny. I have a ton of paint chips or paint samples. Literally just like paint cards. They're Vaspar, they're all Vaspar. I do have some other ones, but I think I threw those out because I'm like, I don't even use those ones. I really only use the Vaspar ones. So we're gonna have to pick a color that matches the cover as best as I can. Give me a second. Okay, so I have whites and I have purples, and we're gonna go through them and see if I can find something that matches this cover. We're gonna do to match this cover because this cover is cuter. So let's go through the purples. Let's see. Ooh, Heart of Flutter is kind of cool because it's obviously romance. It actually matches really well, I feel like. Let me look for 1 second. Hold on. A lot of these are pretty warm. I'm going to go with Hearts of Flutter for the purple choice. And we'll see if there's anything in white that I feel like would work. Let me look. Okay, so I picked out some grays or whites to go with the cover. We have City Steam, Modern Silver, Mind of Her Own, and March Ice. I actually didn't realize until now the color name is in the back, so I didn't have to turn it around there. But I feel like Mind of Her Own could work because it's a little bit purpley and like it's set in the 80s and she's like a single mom. So I feel like it's gonna kind of have that vibe to it. But I feel like I don't know, it's kind of this light, beautiful, like whitish purple for Hearts of Flutter. So I might have to go with that. I think that's what we're gonna go with for this book. And I am going to go ahead and start this book now. Okay. I'll update y'all. See y'all when I need to update again. I don't know if this is a good place to film or not. You can kind of see my messy background over there, but in my messy bed. But I just am kind of just like trying not to do the same spot like back to back or every time, because I don't know why I feel the need to move around when vlogging, but I want to do things with my hands while I film this clip. I have one of these. I can't say the name of it because I know it's pronounced with an H, and my brain is like, what? My brain, like with an H sound, my brain is not going to be able to read that with an H. So, and I probably can't even read it with a J. So, got one of these. We just got a pickup order, or not a pickup order, a delivery order from Walmart. I got this, and yeah. So, not important. Why am I talking about that? We gotta get into the book, but first we're gonna open this because I kind of was waiting to finish the chapter I was reading of the book to open this, and I figured I'd open it with y'all. I got a pair of scissors here.
I think I did that one try. I feel like I normally keep taking forever. There we go. So now, great. Okay, hold on. Trying to do something.
I might turn the camera off while I do this. Okay, got it open like 2 seconds later. Do I save this? No, this doesn't go back on there. Okay. It's fruit punch. It's good. It kind of tastes like if you drink popsicles before they freeze, like a grape popsicle. It doesn't taste like fruit punchy. Okay. Okay, so it's like 12:30, 11, sorry, 12:30, 1:30-ish on the second. It's hard to second. Wow. Okay. And I just finished reading chapter 3 of Local Hero, and so that's about a fourth of the way through the book. There's only 12 chapters, and it is literally so good. Like, I don't even know how to describe how good it is. Like, first of all, the audiobook narrator is the same audiobook narrator as a animal cozy mystery series. What's Shady Hollow? I think that's the name of the series, Shady Hollow. Yeah, same audiobook narrator as that. But the book is just so good. Like, I feel like the writing style is kind of pretty reminiscent of the series I was talking about before that I can't pronounce the name of. It's about the I'll put the first book or something right here to demonstrate what book I'm talking about, or what series I'm talking about. It feels similar to that from Nora. And so the plot of the book, I should get into that because I didn't know that before. So it is about a single mother who is they're in New York City and is moving to a different apartment, like a different like school district, probably, it seems like, to like, because she has a better opportunity there with a job, still in the same area, but her kid's going to a different school. She has a 9-year-old son, and it's very exciting because it's exciting, but it's also very nerve-wracking. Okay, my mom wanted to tell me something. Okay, so back to the book. What we're talking about. Okay, so it's exciting, but it's nerve-wracking being at this new school, in this new area, new job and all, and a new apartment building. And they're right outside. I think they're right outside Central Park. So it seems like she's doing pretty good financially if she can live right outside Central Park. Or they can see a park when outside of their building. I don't know, maybe it's not central. And then, so her husband left them it seemed like left them like 7 years ago. She's like, I'm done. I'm gone. Not gonna help. Don't want to be your husband. Don't want to be a dad. I'm gone. Left them. And she's still having a lot of emotions about that. Not only that, but also parenthood in like the idea of, okay, thought I heard a noise. I am hearing a noise. It's like is it my ears? Anyway, so like having to deal with her son does he have feelings around that? It's like he really doesn't have any feelings around it. Like, he's kind of just like, whatever. I don't have a dad. I don't care. I love my mom so much. And you're getting the son's perspective, but you're also getting an animal's perspective a little bit here and there too, which I think is kind of cool. And then there's a guy, he lives downstairs by 2 floors, and he is a writer of a comic book series, or a comic series, and the son is obsessed with the series. And so that is literally so fun. It's so fun because now the writer, he has some writer's block, but seeing the son's excitement for the series and talking to the son about the series is like his motivation to keep writing. And that is so fun. And obviously, like, having a romance with the mom. Oh, and the animal I was talking about. The guy, he has a dog named Taz. Very big dog, very cute dog, very sweet. And the kids, the one kid and his friend, they went and they took the dog out, and that was really cute. So, yes. Very big, but very gentle. So, yes. And they're having moments because they're alone. Obviously, the kid's not in the apartment. And he's like, don't put Rad, it's not about Rad. She's like, actually, it's very much about Rad. Like, all of this is about Rad, right? Like, you're attractive, whatever, but like, I'm Rad's mom. That's what it is, right? And so, yeah, the guy is going to be watching Rad, that's the name of the kid, when she's at work, when he comes home from school. So, yes. Really loving it so far. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading right now, but I guess we'll see. I'll talk to y'all when when I need to update again. Bye-bye. Hello. So, it is like almost 11 o'clock-ish on the 2nd. 11 p.m., obviously. And I guess we should update for the book because I am halfway through, I think, exactly now. Maybe not page count wise, but chapter wise. I I didn't just finish, I finished a while ago, chapter 6. And I want to talk about it, I guess. I don't know, I feel like I should talk about it. There might have been something covering my microphone there. I have some water bottles that I'm going to empty into one water bottle, so my nightstand is less cluttered, so I can light a candle. So I'm going to be doing that while I talk. This book is literally so friggin' good. Like, it's crazy how just spectacular this book is. There's not that much room in this water bottle. Just magnificent. So, as the book develops, the relationship between the male main character, or the love interest, and the son, the child of the heroine, is so beautiful. He is just there for him in a way that this boy has never had a man in his life be. Like, there was one moment where a cab driver called them father and son because he didn't know. They didn't correct him or anything, but when they got out of the cab, the little boy is like, he called you my dad. And they're both like wrestling with that feeling of it feeling right, but not wanting to kind of admit that. And, you know, the love interest, he was like, how do you feel about that? And he was like, I don't mind it. Like, I'm okay. I wasn't upset about it. And, you know, the hero made a joke out of it, but really they both, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful seeing it because they both love this child so much. There's another scene where both of the adults, the people starting a romance, I don't know why I keep picking different titles to call them. They're both tucking the little boy into bed, and that scene was just so beautiful. And the boy's asleep already, and they like take his clothes off and they put pajamas on, take his shoes off, tuck him in. The mom you know what I mean though, okay, right? Man, woman, okay, yeah. So she kissed him on the forehead and he like strokes his hair. Oh my gosh, so adorable, like literally so cute. I just love the way she writes single parents, you know, falling in love with someone, and that person not only falling in love with them but also their kid. And it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful every time. Whatever the dynamics are, it's so cute. Yeah. So I'm just, it's so good. I don't really have much else to say other than that. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than that. Okay, well, I don't know if we'll update another time before I finish the book, because I don't know if I'm gonna have much to say, but I'll update again when I have something I need to talk about. Okay, good night, y'all. So it is, what time? I don't know what time it is even. But it is Sunday morning-ish. I mean, I woke up a bit later, so maybe it's not technically morning anymore. But yeah. So I just got to chapter 10, so I have three chapters left. And it is getting so good. Like, this book is so freaking good. I cannot even I literally don't even know how to comprehend the fact that this book is so just spectacular. So I don't want to spoil it, but I want to talk about it. So it's, first of all, it's a category romance. We know where this is going, right? It's category romance. Not only just it's a romance in general, they're gonna end up together, but then also the fact that it's a category romance and then also set in the 80s. So like, we know they're gonna get married at the end of the book. Like, we know they're gonna be married with kids. That's just the way category romances roll. I'm assuming. Okay, I haven't read that many, but this is what's gonna happen. We all know this, okay? So this isn't a spoiler, but he proposed, and oh my god, the scene was so beautiful, and her reaction, it was so, you know, emotionally painful, right? Because she says no at first. They're gonna get married, of course, but she did say no to the first proposal, and his reaction was so, I don't even know how to describe my feelings towards it. Like, it was so beautiful. It was, I mean, that's gonna sound bad because he was like upset about it, obviously. she was married before, like I said, and her husband like up and left them. And his reaction was so like resilient. I don't even know how to describe what I'm talking about, but like even when they get in a fight, he's there for her kid. He's there for her kid. Like, she says no, they kind of have a little bit of like a little argument about marriage in general and them getting married. And then he leaves. And he's like, I'll call you soon to talk, right? Now, here's the thing. I think he's gonna go to the school and take her kid out of the school and like go talk to him. But then I also am assuming that he's gonna watch her kid. He's still gonna watch her kid when she is at work and her kid comes from home from school. Like, that's still gonna happen, right? I'm assuming. Like, so I don't know, like, not in like a bad way, not in like a you know, going through the motions, like bad, like loveless marriage. Not talking about that at all. I'm talking about like, we can have a fight and you're not gonna just there's a gnat flying around. You're not gonna just up and leave the way her ex-husband did, right? Like, this man is still gonna be there. You know, maybe she said no to the proposal today, but he's like, you're gonna say yes eventually. And she's like, I don't want to get married again. I can't do it. And he's like, well, I'll call you later. Love you, you know, and I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch your kid tomorrow when you're at work, because I love your kid. I love you. And I love it so much. This book is so freaking good. This book is literally so good. I did not think this book was gonna be that good. I was like, even when I got the book, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it'll be interesting. I think it'll be just kind of like boring, or not boring, but just like a plot line I don't care about. But oh my gosh, this book is literally so good. Okay, I will update when I need to update. Probably, I'm gonna update when I finish the book, which is gonna be pretty soon, probably. So, yes, okay, I'll see y'all then. Okay, bye-bye. So it is, I actually don't know what time it is again. But coming back to update because I finished my book. I finished Little Hero. This book was so freaking amazing. I don't even know how to like put it into words how beautiful this book was. Like, oh my god. I hadn't even looked at the cover, but like, look how cute that is. Because I'm not like reading it, so I'm not staring at the cover being like, this is the couple or whatever. So freaking cute. I kind of wish the little boy was on the cover too, because that would have been really adorable. But this book was spectacular. The ending was really so perfect and so cute. And the little detail about where they're going on their honeymoon, I love when stuff like that happens. And I was watching maybe a couple on TikTok or a YouTube couple or something like that. And they went, or I think it was a book. It might have actually also been a Nora Roberts book, where they went to the same place on their honeymoon, and just because of the kids, oh my god, I just loved it so much. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. 5 stars, obviously. This month's going very well. I feel like sometimes her categories are misses with me. I do read a lot of them, and I have read a lot of them, and the ones that I love. But I feel like a good bit of the time, it's a miss, or it's a 3-star. And this one just brought me back to the feeling of the first Nora I ever read. Oh, sorry about that. My parents were talking. I think they still are. You might be able to still hear them. But really reminding me of the first Nora I ever read, which was Taming Natasha. And it was a single parent romance set. I think that was set in a small town. And, oh yeah, and also the love interest was interested in something that a kid would be interested in, or had a business or job or surrounding that as well. And that person, you know, like becoming a parent through this situation and through this romance. So, and they really, really loved it. And they really, really wanted to. It's different in that situation because the woman was like really, really wanting to have a child, and she had some trauma around that. This hero doesn't. There's really not much about, a little bit about his childhood and how he kind of wanted a little bit of more of an unstructured childhood for his children, but not much, nothing really about any of that, him really, really craving children. like Natasha and Tammy Natasha does. But that was a single dad. This is a single mom. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I have to say about it, but just absolutely fabulous. Fabulous book. Really great read. I don't know when I'm going to pick up the next one. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know when I'm going to read the next one. I guess we'll see when I feel like picking up the next one. I think it may be Irish Rose I'm going to go with next, because the thing I have on my wall with all the Noras, I accidentally highlighted Irish Rose, and I have not read Irish Rose, obviously. So I'm like, maybe I should read that first just to like correct that so that I can say I've read it and I've actually read it. But I don't know. We'll see what I'm in the mood for when it comes time to pick up another one, and I will see y'all then. Bye-bye. Okay, hi. It is about 6 p.m. on August 6th, and I'm about to start my second book for this vlog. We're going with Irish Rose. I'm very excited about it. I guess I know a little bit about what this book is about. I don't really know. It takes place in Maryland. It is following a cousin, I believe, of the main character in the first book in the series, Irish Thoroughbred. And main character, the woman is coming from Ireland and the man is an American. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I'm excited to start this one. I'm probably gonna be starting it in just a few minutes here, and I'm probably not going to like put the bookmark as I go through the book. Like normally when I'm listening to an audiobook, I just like put the bookmark on the chapter I'm on, but since this is older, I don't want it to rip. I feel like the spine feels a little bit like loose, and I don't want it to crack or something. Like, not crack, it's already cracked. I don't want it to like rip, which I think could be a possibility, I guess. So I'm not going to follow along in the book. I'm probably just gonna keep it on my shelf. Okay, I'll see y'all when I need to update about what's going on in this book. Okay, bye-bye. So it is about 6-ish p.m.-ish on the 7th, yeah. And I have been procrastinating filming this update, procrastinating making my bed. I gotta clean my side table off a little bit as well. And I have an appointment in less than an hour. It's a virtual appointment, but I have an appointment. I need to get my bed made. I need to do this clip. I need to stop watching TV because I started rewatching a show that I was watching when I was younger, and it's literally so good. Switched at birth. Love it. Anyway, I have to make my freaking bed, and I'm not motivating. So we're gonna do this clip while we make my bed. Hopefully this goes well. A bit chaotic, but we're doing it. Okay, so can you see my bed at all? A little bit. That's fine. Okay, cool. So I just finished chapter 3, and well, just like a half an hour or so ago, maybe more. I've been watching TV for a while now, and I don't know how I'm feeling. It's definitely a typical category romance. The hero is very aggressive, let's say that. Let me put my hair up. 1 second. Okay, the hero is very aggressive. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. So the plot of the book, I guess, I don't even know if I really even know the plot of the book yet. It could be the plot, it could also be a spoiler, so I don't know. So the main character is a kind of very distant cousin from the main character of the previous book in the series, and she lives in Ireland. She lives kind of on like the south, like on like the coast of the south, like the bottom of Ireland. If I looked it up, I think I'm correct about that. And hopefully you could hear me well while I'm over here. And she lives in a very rural area, and I don't know, she's Irish, she lives in Ireland, she lives in a very rural area in Ireland. That's about all I've got on her. She's very fierce. Then her cousin's husband, and her cousin's husband's friend, I forget his name, they come to Ireland to visit with the children, with the cousin's kids. She has 3 kids and is pregnant with another kid. So lots of children coming to stay with them for a while. And then the friend owns like property right next to what I think the cousin's husband or the cousin owns, where their like farm is for the horses. So I don't know. So they basically meet. He's like being like, oh, I'm gonna have you. Jiminy Christmas. He's kind of just like being aggressive with her, but he can tell that she wants to change. She wants to leave. She wants to leave Ireland and explore the world. And basically right at the end of chapter 3, he gives her an offer. I will take you back to America. You can work for me and you can make money and build a life wherever you want to. And she says yes to this. And then that was the end of chapter 3. Well, he kisses her. And she's like not into it. And he's like, this is in business. Whatever. And then that's the end of chapter 3. So there's that. I mean, it was written in 88. What do we expect, right? Typical category romance. What are we expecting from it? What else? Anything else with it? But she likes him. Like, she's attracted to him. But, and she's also very firm. Like, she isn't going to, like, be cowed by this man, and his advances. She likes him, but she is very strong-willed. She kind of reminds me of Eve Dallas, but, like, living almost 100 years prior, in a rural area with obviously less trauma. Not obviously, but less trauma. Maybe like even Rourke's kid living 100 years in the past. Yeah. So those are my feelings so far. I'm enjoying it. Oh, and the main character is Catholic. The female main character at least. Erin, she is very Catholic. Or maybe not very, but it's a point in the book. She talks about being Catholic, the church she went to, like parts of that, which I think is interesting. It's only light here and there, but I think it's interesting. So that's also a part of it as well. Yeah, anything else? I don't think so. Okay, well, I guess I'll update when something else interesting happens. Thank you for motivating me to make my bed. I just have to fix this blanket and then put my pillows on my bed. Okay, I'll see y'all whenever it's time to update again. Bye-bye. I do not know the last time I updated. It is almost 7 a.m. on the 11th, and I have not read any of the book. I figured I'd come to give a little update about that and just say, like, I'm about to start reading it in, like, just a few minutes here. I have just been pretty, maybe not distracted, I don't feel so well, and I feel like my sleep schedule was, like, perfect, and then I messed it up again, and now I should have, like, I only slept, like, 4 hours last night, and I just woke up, like, an hour ago, so, like, I don't know. Anyway, so going on that, that's going on as well. Going on that. Anyway, I started watching a new TV show, or rewatching an old one, and I'm really loving it, but it's been taking up all my time, because I'm so obsessed with finding out, because it's so crazy. It's Switched at Birth. I don't know if I mentioned that in my last vlog update. I may have. I don't know. Yeah, and then I am knitting a sweater, and I want to listen to the audiobook while I knit the sweater. Now, it doesn't look like a sweater, but maybe if you're a knitter, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about here. Why am I doing this? Oh, it'll sit like this, and then it'll, like, I don't actually know how it's gonna look. Like, I'm just as confused as you are. My first time ever knitting a sweater. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't talk about like the details of it. I'm a bit confused right now, but it's a paid pattern. So I can't talk about the details, but it is the Amy sweater by Petite Knit. That's all topic from the books, but yes. And I'm using yarn that is not made, like this is acrylic yarn. It's a hot pink ombre. This is my favorite yarn ever. It is or one of my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's my favorite yarn ever. It is Mandala Gradient by Lion Brand. And I've worked with 2 different colors already in this thing. I crocheted a shawl, which I believe I was vlogging that like sometime in the past. I ended up giving that to my sister-in-law, and then I got a bunch of the dark blue one, and I knit and crocheted I knit a bunch of stuff. I knit like socks, a shawl, a scarf, 2 hats. Yeah. So did a bunch of stuff with that one. Absolutely love that. I absolutely love the yarn so much. And this yarn is so pretty. It's just a lot of hot pink. I'm hoping that it'll, like, I have like this much left, and then it'll start to get lighter. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna do it the same way I did it on the shawl. And I don't know if I did it on the first shawl, but I did on the second shawl, where the ombre continued. So I do the hot pink to the light pink, and then I'll start the new skein at light pink to go to hot pink. So yes, it'll need 6 skeins or a little bit over 5 skeins. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. How that ombre ends up ending at the bottom, I don't know. Or maybe not at the bottom, but maybe at another part or something like that. How I'm gonna do the arms, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna figure out that part, but we're working on it, and I'm going to go ahead and continue with Irish Rose, I think, right now. Okay. Happy reading. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Hello. Okay, so this is gonna be the final clip where I talk about my feelings for Irish Rose. So, last clip I filmed was me in the middle of the night choosing to get back into the book. And then I never thought to update after. I just didn't update. I thought about it. I guess I did think about it, but I just didn't. I was like, I'll just wait. And then I was at the end of the book. And I'm like, okay, let's go to that. Then I filmed the clip. I finished the book. I went and took a shower, and then my voice cracked. Finished the book, went to go take a shower, and then went to go film the clip. And I decided to film it in my kitchen while cooking dinner. For some reason, I was like, that's a good idea. It was not a good idea. So the clip's horrible. I'm like, I don't like the clip. So we're going to be talking about my final feelings for it again. It's the 18th of the month. But, you know, we need to talk about this book because I did finish it and it was okay. So I guess we should talk about it. Obviously, that's the point of this video clip. I have my kitten right here next to me. Well, she's not a kitten anymore. Hold on. Come say hi. She's not a kitten anymore. She's a fully grown adult, but she's so tiny. You're so small. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this. Wrap up of my feelings. I'm trying to think about what my feelings were. I didn't really think about this before I started. So, what was the last thing I talked to you guys about? I don't really know. Oh, it was her coming back to him. It was her, like, planning on coming back to America, I think. So she comes back to America, and she's working for him, and things kind of start escalating quickly between them. But it's kind of confusing because she is I think they're both very odd. I'm making sure my cat doesn't eat any yarn. Scarlet, don't eat that. They are both like 2 totally different people wrapped into one. Like, the female main character is which I guess is fine, but like, I don't know. the female main character is very, like, fierce about things. Like, she's very, like, strong-willed. She has plans and things she wants to do. But she's also very, like, traditional in some ways. I mean, she was raised in a rural area. That makes sense, right? The traditionalness, but also her being rougher because she, you know, had to do, she lived in a rural area. And he feels like kind of a mix of, like, him not wanting a wife that super traditional and stuff like that, but also kind of wanting a wife in a traditional sense. So it's kind of hard to work around. It's kind of hard to just, like, figure out what's going on with these characters, really. So I'm not going to talk about, there is kind of one thing that happens major in the book that kind of shapes the rest of the book, in their relationship. And it actually surprised me that it didn't happen sooner. I thought it was going to happen way sooner. But it happened pretty soon. It's pretty quick to the book, generally. But I didn't understand aspects of their characters. Like I said, they have two sides of them. I feel like they easily could come together in some ways and be a very harmonious personality to have, but I think some of the elements just didn't fit, especially with the female character's Catholicism. There was some times where she was very strong on those things. She was, like, referencing Mary and saints and stuff like that, very strong on certain sins, like very anti certain sins that she was having. And then for some others, it was never mentioned. Specifically one, it was never mentioned. And I'm just like, that's interesting. Like, she's talking about this. Every time she wants something someone else has, she's like, oh, that's a sin. But there's one thing that she does, and I'm like, I was expecting her to be talking all about this and talking how she shouldn't be doing this, blah, 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 whatever. One second. And how she shouldn't be doing this, she shouldn't be having these feelings, but she, like, didn't care at all. She was not even thinking about it. I'm like, okay, like, obviously that's your business, that's your opinion on it. I'm not Catholic. I'm, like, Protestant Christian, I guess. I don't know. So I'm like, I'm surprised, like, you didn't even think about that at all. Not even a thought on it. You're like, well, here we are. I'm not, like, judging her, but I'm just, like, so interested. Like, all the other things, she was like, I can't do that, or that was wrong. And she didn't even think about this thing. Or at least in my perception, she didn't think about it. I don't know. Like, it's just so strange. Like, he wasn't, I don't know. Like, he was mad at her for, like, trying to clean, and, like, it was kind of strange here and there. I enjoyed some of the storylines and some parts of their relationship, but some parts I really didn't enjoy. One part of it I did really enjoy was the fact that a portion of the book, a small portion, took place in Kentucky, because the main male character breeds horses, thoroughbred horses. He had some of his horses, or a horse, in the Kentucky Derby, so that was exciting. Now, I've never been to Louisville, but that's where the Kentucky Derby is at. So it was set there. So I've never been there, but, like, I obviously know about it. So yeah, my decision on rating is 3.75. I think that fits. It wasn't awesome. It was okay. 1 second. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say about it, really. Maybe I didn't actually talk about things I should talk about, but it was okay. I'm really glad I read it, not only for the highlighting on that thing on my wall, but also to have read the next book in the series. I did enjoy being back in this area and being back with this vibe. Okay. I believe that is all for Irish Rose. I will talk to y'all later when I start my next book. Or, nope, actually incorrect. Let me say that better. Past Me is going to come to y'all when she is ready to start her next book. Okay. Bye-bye. If it was Past Me, I would say, see you then. Okay, so it is 1-ish p.m. on the 14th. So it is literally just the next day, and I'm gonna be starting my next book right now. Hopefully, like, I feel like the lighting is a little bit weird here, like it's a little bit like cloudy maybe, I don't know. Sorry about that if it is. Okay, I'm gonna be starting Name of the Game. Yes, I'm starting this, don't really know what it's about, maybe famous people. And I've kind of been wanting to read a famous person, Nora, for a bit. But none of them are like, I haven't really picked one up. So that could be exciting if it's that or not. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this book. We're gonna see. I do have another edition of it that isn't like a first edition, so I'm gonna be reading from this. This book has rules of the game and name of the game. I believe name of the game is nope. Name of the game is nope. Wait, what? Rules of the hold on one second. Name of the game seems shorter than rules of the game. Yeah, let me open it up to that part right there. Maybe not. Maybe they're the exact same length. Maybe this one's a little bit longer, actually. The name of the game is here at the end. Yeah. So I need to pick a bookmark for this book since I will be having to follow along in. Let me go ahead and pick a couple options out. Okay, so out of all my paint chips, this is the two options I have in real life. This one, Exotic Sea, is really close to the words, but it is a little bit less warm, maybe a little bit darker, maybe just it's because the color is shiny and these cards are matte. I don't know. I kind of want Exotic, nope, wait, hold on. Beach Sparkle, Beach Sprinkle, that, I really like the color and I really like the name, but I feel like Exotic Sea goes a lot better, so I think we're gonna go with Exotic Sea for this book, and I'm gonna go ahead and start it right now. I want to finish it by tomorrow night, because tomorrow night the next round of Escape starts. I was talking about that at the beginning. That's when I was reading the first book. This month there's gonna be 2 rounds of Escape. I don't know why. Maybe it's because like there's a poll that gets done, which is newer, where we get to pick the weekend that'll happen, and maybe their weekends were tied, or we picked the first weekend, which was like really close to the last weekend of Escape, so, or the previous weekend of Escape, right? So maybe they were like, yeah, we need to like space this out, guys, come on. So maybe they were doing one at the end of the month because of that too. So there's a weekend of Escape this weekend again, which is I don't think I've ever seen happen, and I've been participating in it for like I don't know how long, a while. I feel like I've never seen that happen before. Maybe it happened before, but I don't know. Yeah, so I want to finish it before then so I can kind of like start a new book for that. Yes, okay, and I need to listen to an audiobook because I'm not going to be starting like the buddy read today. Okay, so I'm outside editing and I just realized that I never mentioned the buddy read because I had to refilm the clip wrapping up my thoughts on Irish Rose, and it was in the original Thoughts on Irish Rose. So I decided to do a buddy read with someone on Discord for a thriller, and so that's why I don't know. I don't know why. I don't remember exactly why I mentioned it. But I was going to do a buddy read with someone on Discord, and so I was like, I need to start a shorter book. I can't start Scared Sins. So I can't start another thriller because I'm going to read a thriller this weekend. But we ended up reading it that weekend and finishing it that weekend. So I could start Scared Sins right after that. Okay, bye-bye. Probably. So, I need to get all my knitting, and I need to be able to listen to an audiobook instead of watching TV or YouTube. Okay, watching TV does sound like a good idea right now, though. I kind of like, ooh, I want to watch TV. No. The TV show is also getting freaking insane. I normally, when I rewatch shows, I always like remember every single plot line. Typically, I remember it a little bit incorrectly, but whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and wait for that, you know what I mean? But this, I am like floored beyond belief. I am like, this is happening? What do you mean? What do you mean? this character is getting deported? What do you mean this is happening? What do you mean this person cheated? Like, I'm just like floored. So it's been very interesting. But no, I'm not going to watch the television show. I'm going to read this book. Okay, name of the game, here we go. Hello, good morning. I woke up about an hour ago, I think. It is the 15th at almost 11:30. And yeah, I'm feeling a little bit like a little sicky, just want to lay in bed, just want to relax. Like I don't lay in bed and relax most days anyway. But yeah, so I just am feeling a bit worn down, I would say. Okay. Let's talk about the book, shall we? Because that's what this vlog is, right? Talking about this book. So I just finished chapter 4. Yeah. And it is definitely being interesting so far. I don't really know how to describe it. So it is about a game show producer? No. It's about a woman who does like all of the big admin work. From what I could tell, it's admin work. That's the word I'm using. I don't know if that's a correct word to describe it. Behind the game show. So she's the one who kind of searches for questions. She does a little bit of that with her, like she gives that to her assistant sometimes, but it's, you know, she's the one who does stuff like that. She reaches out to celebrities and or celebrities, whatchamacallit, they're like the people that you get in contact when you want to get in contact, when things like this want to get in contact with celebrities. Agents? Yeah, maybe that's the word. She reaches out to agents. She, like, plans, like, all of that stuff. She also goes through, like, the letters that they get from, like, fans, or people that want to come on the show as well. So, basically, a random person gets selected to come onto the show. So far, it's only been women, I think. I don't think that's, like, it's only women, but so far it's been women, moms, that have come on the show. And basically, a person, not a woman, anyone, comes onto the show, from what I can tell, and someone comes on the show, and then there's a celebrity that's on the show with them, and that celebrity can only answer 2 questions for the person. But basically, they sit there, and they have a button in front of them, and they're asked questions. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it in real life. Maybe there is a game show that's just like this. But I can't think of one. It's kind of like, have you ever heard the show? It was an older show that, like, reaction YouTubers react to because it's crazy and funny. Moment of Truth. It's kind of like, it was kind of like Moment of Truth, but like trivia. It's like Moment of Truth mixed with Jeopardy. Kind of. Yeah. But maybe there's a game show that's just like this, and I just don't know it. So, I don't know. But game shows are fun. Okay, we like a good game show. My doctor's office, they always have Family Feud, either a Disney movie or Family Feud on the TV in the waiting room. And it's not always new. It's actually way older. And it's like from like the 70s and the 80s. And I am just so shocked that Steve Harvey was not always the host of Family Feud. Every time I'm there, I'm like, who is this guy? That ain't Steve Harvey. And my parents are like, Steve Harvey? He was like, he's not like the Family Feud host. There were so many people before him that were like better or whatever. At least in their opinion. I don't know. But I'm like, Steve Harvey, where is Steve Harvey at? We love Steve Harvey in this house. So, okay. So, back to the plot of the book, I guess. So, this is her job. He is an actor. He is, from what I can tell, like a soap opera actor. He's currently in a soap, like a Days of Our Lives kind of thing. Yes, he's in that. And there's not a lot about his life, but they both have like, I wouldn't say they both have trauma. She has big time, like, commitment, marriage, family trauma. Her father was, you know, here and there, because he was married many times with many different women who impacted her life in kind of, I would say, negative ways. So she's kind of anti-relationship, and he is like meets her and is like madly in love with her. And she thinks she's ugly and not feminine and just like too old. And I'll talk about that in a second. And he just immediately is like, I'm in love with you. He doesn't say that, but he's so obsessed with her. And he's like, yeah. So, and both of their houses are so beautiful and rural. And I just, oh my gosh, I love them so much. And he has horses. And I think it's kind of ironic because he compares one of his horses to her. And he's like, that comparison, she's not gonna like that, but I think this horse reminds me of her. She's very stubborn. The horse keeps biting him. Or at least trying to bite him. He was saying how the horse was also a thoroughbred. And I think that's kind of ironic because I just read a book with horses that were thoroughbreds. Anyway, and it was published in this year, obviously. Okay, so I'm liking things between them so far. He's a little bit forceful, but like, whatever. Like, we didn't expect that to happen, okay? But like, I think it's in like a good way for the fiction. Like, for the fiction, I'm enjoying it. For the last one, I didn't like that element so much, but for this one, I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I think he's going to be very much there for her emotionally, in some ways. Yes, the main character said, you're trying to manage this, trying to manage me. Or, no, not manage, maneuver. He said, the main character, she said, you're trying to maneuver me. And if you read, which if anyone watches this, probably doesn't know what I'm talking about, but like, where's the book at? For our book club last month, we read Carolina Moon, and maneuver, that word, I'm pretty sure, I could be totally wrong about this, was used in this book because the hero was very aggressive, and very pushy with the main character. And eventually she came up with the term maneuver. He's always maneuvering her. But in this one, I'm liking it. This one, I liked it for the most part. Some sections I absolutely loved, and some sections I didn't like towards the end, because I think it was also I was being influenced by the people around me, because everyone else reading the book with me for book club was hating him and his actions. Okay, so maybe I was being maneuvered. Okay, it's been 7 minutes. I should really get to other things I want to say about this book. Because I do want to talk about something else, which is the age of the book. It is very clear. I feel like in the last two, the age of the book wasn't that important, especially because the main character was from a rural area, and she was already set, like, I could tell that she was already, like, not as ahead, right? But this book is feeling aged. And the first book, I didn't really feel like that book felt too aged for the most part. I don't remember exactly all the details there, but I don't remember that a ton. But this book is crazy. Okay, this book is freaking insane with aging. First of all,
Inside of the building.
they're smoking cigarettes inside of the building. What? And I'm like, okay, I've seen it in Nora's before. They'll smoke in a building here. They'll even smoke in a hospital building. But like the idea of her just talking to this woman on a television set and pulling out a cigarette and lighting the cigarette, and the main character lights the cigarette for her. And I'm like, what? You're allowed? Isn't that like, first of all, let's not talk about the smoke, let's talk about anything about that. Let's talk about the fire hazard of it all. You're burning something in the building. Are you mentally insane? Second thing, there's a couple references to certain things that I think were really funny because they're not the way people describe things now. So the main character, first of all, says, I'm not taking my cordless phone outside because I don't want to be distracted. Your cordless phone? I know it's the 80s. I know that was normal. I know that I actually have a house phone in my room. It's because we live in the middle of nowhere. I get it. But she don't have a cell phone. Cell phones aren't a thing. And she's like, my cordless phone. And I'm like, okay, girl, what? Like, it's crazy to me for her to be like, I can go outside and be totally detached. Me, I bring my cell phone everywhere I go. My cell phone is not connected to service because we live in a rural area. I don't get service back here, so I'm like, why waste the money on that? But I am on my phone all the time, and my phone is outside with me every time I go outside. If I go in the pool, my phone goes with me. It stays on the table next to the pool. We have a little blow-up pool in the backyard. But, like, it's with me. It's with me everywhere. It's with me when if I go outside to walk the dog, I'm taking it with me. If I go outside to, I don't know what. It's just a little bit wild, and I know that they weren't the thing back then. But seeing it is completely different. Okay. Second thing. Enamel. She called nail polish enamel. Or was this another thing back then? Like, maybe in 20, 30 years, or no. Incorrect. Maybe like 10 years ago, Gel X would not have been something you would have heard of in nails. But I've heard that Gel X is a big thing. I don't even know what that is really, but I've heard of it, okay? So like, you're calling nail polish enamel? Is it something else, or is it just nail polish? And we're calling it enamel. Okay, I've heard lacquer, or not liqueur, lacquer for nail polish. And stuff like that, but it might be like a harder nail polish enamel. But are you calling nail polish enamel? Okay, second thing, which I feel like is the worst thing, and the most like hit me in the face, like, whoa, what did you just say? Was, and I sound like I'm about to say something crazy, but since I sound like I'm about to say, oh, she said a slur. Okay, so no, she didn't. Thank goodness gracious. But the main character said remote TV changer. She picked up the remote TV changer. I believe that's what it was. I believe that's her phrasing. Yes. The remote TV changer? What is this, the 1800s? Sometimes I say television and I feel olden. I feel like I'm old. I say, oh, I want to watch the television. I'm watching a television show. And I feel old. I feel like I'm like, it is like, olden days saying that, okay, right? Like, I'm like being like whimsical. I don't know, right? But like the remote TV changer, a couple years ago, this was probably way more than a couple years ago. I think this was when we lived in Pennsylvania. My dad said, hand me the clicker. And I said, what? We don't have a clicker. I wanted to get a clicker, but we don't have a clicker. Dad, what are you talking about? He was like, give me the clicker. I'm like, girl, we don't got no clicker. What are you talking about? And then he was like, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, and then I guess he picked up the remote. And I'm like, what? That's not a clicker, Dad. That's a remote. Clickers are for dogs, obviously. And he's like, that was a term back in the day for remote. And I couldn't think of the word remote. I'm like, what? I thought clickers were the things that you use to train dogs. When they do a good thing, you click the clicker and then you give them a treat, right? I don't know. And that the TVs were based on noise. Is that true? That they were based on noise? You hit the button and then they went to a certain channel or whatever? I don't know. That seems crazy to me. Okay, so that is it for that. I've been filming for 17 minutes. How am I going to edit this down? Okay. I'm really enjoying the book. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hello. Okay, so it is, I have no clue what time it is. On August 16th, I believe. And I just finished, what's the name of the book? The name of the game. At the end of the audiobook, it said, like, a feature in California Dreams. So I kept thinking for the past few minutes, the title is California Dreams. I'm like, it's not California Dreams. I guess it was featured in, which is interesting because she has some novellas that I guess were featured in like collections originally. I'm not sure about that because I know that she had paranormal books that were featured in the Once Upon a Blank collection. There were 6 of them, but I don't know why they sometimes say that like this book was featured in this. Was it originally published in that, like the Once Upon a Blank series, or I don't know, or was it just like a bind up that they did? I do have the California Dreams bind up. I may have put that in like a unhaul pile because I have the books that are in it, so maybe it was that one, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, yes, I just finished Rules the name of the game, let me grab the actual copy. The name of the game, first of all, this is a scene in the book. I don't think I mentioned that last time. This is a scene, I think it was, I read it before I last updated it. And there's a freaking gnat in my room, and it's freaking killing me. You bastard. It's everywhere. It's freaking on me all the time. And it's been doing that, and I killed his brother yesterday. And now there's a freaking another one. And that smile is, like, fake. She is, like, flipping out in this scene. But she's just like, I gotta smile because I can't act crazy when these paparazzi are taking pictures of us. So, yes. Okay. So, just finished this. I actually really liked it. I was pretty nervous to start it. And going through the book, it was, it was okay here and there. There were some elements I didn't enjoy for it. But as a whole, it was a pretty enjoyable book. Very beautiful storyline. The main character is definitely, the female main character is definitely more closed in and guarded. She has, we learn at the end of the book, that towards the end of the book, I basically have been reading for about an hour or so, kind of off and on. Maybe like say 2 hours off and on. And so in that time I found out about that. And she has a lot of childhood abandonment trauma. One second. This is why my shirts are half cat hair, because I mean they're smothered in cat hair always, and then it's always like once I take them out the washer, they still have cat hair on them. Because this little girl is a Tuttle Muffin. Okay, so she has like childhood like abandonment issues, and I'm not gonna talk about it because it is a spoiler. But that was crazy to learn about. I was worried that it was gonna get like really like bad, but it wasn't. Yeah, and then I don't know what else we're talking about. Oh yeah, so like her and his business, like they kind of just continued going on. There was nothing really like huge that happened. It was kind of like they're living their lives and now they're living that together, and they're gonna figure out what comes next together, which I actually really liked. It just felt good for them. I liked it. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. Maybe there's more I should want to say, but I don't really know. Yeah. Just freaking bastard. Okay. Now you're probably gonna hear my cat eating. Anyway. So, my rating. What am I rating it? I'm rating it a 4.5 star. I think that's pretty good. It was a pretty good category, not like like a medium category. It was a good category. It wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular to be a 5, but it was a 4.5. So, yes. But it was a book I'll definitely like. I very much enjoyed it. I feel like a good bit of her categories, I'm like, they were okay, but this one was really good. Okay, so I think that is going to be it. I will update when I'm ready to start a new book, and then we can talk about that. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hello. So I know the lighting probably isn't good and my air conditioner is on, so you can hear that. But I wanted to do a little bit of an update. It is the 19th, I think, no, it's the 20th. I think it's the 20th of August. And I don't know what time it is. I'll put that down there, I'm sure. And I figured I should do a little bit of an update. I was planning on starting Scared Sins like right after I finished refilming the clip for when I finished what was the book called? Brain fog right now. Hold on one second. Irish Rose. I filmed a clip for the next book I wanted to read, and then I deleted that and tried to film another one. Didn't like that. Whatever. So let's go on some personal stuff before I actually get into the book I'm going to be reading next. So, my ears have been hurting a little bit, and I went to the doctor yesterday, and apparently I have strep throat and an ear infection on one side and like an inflamed ear on the other, which is spectacular, and I am taking antibiotics right now for it. Yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that, and now I feel worse because I'm like, I'm sick, and like I didn't, now I'm just like maybe playing into it a little bit now that I know. I don't know. So I just took a shower, and I have a load of laundry in the washer. I'm going to be knitting, and I think I'm going to continue with the audiobook of what I'm going to start next. I'm a quarter of the way through the first chapter, so I'm going to continue with that, and I'm going to wait until that's done, and then I'm going to switch that over, and I'm going to put in new sheets, so I can have new sheets, because I'm sick, and I want to feel nice and clean. Okay, what book am I going to be starting next? So, so I've been waiting to film this clip until I felt a little bit better, because I'm like, I keep thinking, I don't want to film myself, so now that I don't feel as, crummy, now we're going to film this clip. So, here we are, the book I'm going to be reading next, Scared Sins. This is the second book in the DC detective series, whatever. This was published, as I said before, in 1987, and book 2 was published in 88. So I'm reading it because I already read book 2. I was not expecting, as I said, I'm only a quarter through the first chapter, and I was not expecting it to be religious, for the murders to be based in religion. Nora loves, I've read a good couple books by Nora that have very high, very, extreme religious elements, religious ties to, like, murder and, to, like, a person's behavior and trauma and stuff like that. So I was expecting it to be this one. I didn't know what it was going to be. I believe it is going to be a police officer and a psychologist who are going to be working together for the case, but also falling in love. I'm like, that's what's going to happen because they're together in book 2. Book 2 was like a serial killer who was killing people who were sex workers, not for like morality reasons, but for sexual reasons. But this one, I don't know, I thought maybe it could be a little bit of a sex worker thing because of the cover, but I think it's religious. I think he's, someone is murdering women. I'm assuming it's a man. Because of religious reasons and because of like cleaning sins and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and knit and wait until this load of laundry is done, and then I'm gonna probably keep us in the audiobook and start cleaning because I need to clean my room. Okay. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Okay, so it is I actually don't know what day it is, and I don't know what time it is either. I'll put that information right here. That I wanted to come and give a little update on Scared Sins. I am almost halfway through it, and it is so interesting. It was really not what I was expecting it, like, to be. So what's the plot of the book? Really, I should tell y'all about that. So it is about a homicide detective and a psychologist. These two people having a romance. That's, what the book's about, but it's also about murder. Murder afoot. Certainly there is a serial killer in DC. And he seems to be murdering women in a religious sense, specifically in a Catholic sense, and using a Catholic object as his like main murder weapon. So there's a lot of discussion about therapy and whether it's useful. The hero has some different opinions on it based on trauma that he has in his life. There's discussions based on mental illnesses and whether, one of the main characters is feeling guilty for the murderer and the other main character isn't feeling any guilt for the murder, any sympathy for the murderer's mental illnesses and physical illnesses that you kind of find out that he probably has based on like a little bit of POV you get. I wouldn't consider that a spoiler. And then you're also having differences based on the views of that. What else is going on that's really interesting? And then you're having, like, seeing the perspective of the killer and his view on religion that is clashing with basically everyone else's view on religion, right? What else? There's just a lot going on with trauma and with different belief systems, but also liking each other and wanting to come together for this case. They want to solve this murder, and they want to get this guy off of the streets, whether that means getting him help or putting him in prison. Either way, they want him out because he is, you know, harming lots of women in the area. Regardless of what they want to happen to him after that is a different story, and they're arguing about that, and they're having one side that is romantic, one side that is them enjoying each other's company, and the other side that is them totally disagreeing on a fundamental core belief that they have, which I think is really interesting. It's not a disagreement in a political way. It's not like he's a Democrat, she's a Republican. No, it's like she believes in rehabilitation and mental health care, and he believes that, you know, people are bad, some people are bad, and he wants to protect people. They both want to protect people, but I don't think they see the other side of the other person's coin. And the hero has trauma around therapy, like really bad trauma, and so he kind of doesn't think therapists are helping people. He thinks they are clinical, they're emotionless, and I don't think the heroine has that same perspective on cops. I'm not sure though. She might, but she's not anti-cop. Maybe she's anti his perspective on what to do with criminals, but I don't think she's anti, like, police and stuff like that, or like the criminal justice system. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But it's been really good so far. It's been not as hard to read as I thought it was going to be. So I guess I could talk about this. I might cut this out because it is a bit personal. So I have religious OCD, and so, or my OCD kind of focuses on religion in my life, and so I was like, oh no, once I found out what the killer's motivations were, I'm like, this is going to be such a hard book for me to read, but it's actually been really interesting. It's not really causing much anxiety. Now, the killer is killing for Catholic reasons. He is a Catholic. You actually find out some details in the book, which I don't know if are spoilers or not, but I'll actually say a spoiler real quick. If you don't want to know a spoiler for certain motivations of the killer or certain things about the killer, then you can mute and unmute when this image goes away. Okay, 3, 2, 1. The killer is a priest. The killer is a priest. So that is super interesting. Okay. No more spoilers now. Hello. So it is really into Catholicism, and he's using Catholicism as a weapon, basically. He's killing with I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know what it is, really. It's some sort of white scarf. I don't think it's a stole, because they're not saying stole. They're saying amice. So that's what I think is really getting me through the book, is like, he's killing for Catholicism. And I think a Protestant. I think that's the word you would use, Protestant, yeah. In kind of a very distorted practice, right? He's using them in a very corrupted way from the way that actual Catholics practice, and a very manipulated way, and a way that is, like, I think very clear from the first time you see his perspective that he's trying to cleanse people of their sins. And so that is, like, clearly not, like, that's obviously like a distortion of it. So I guess some elements have really made me uncomfortable. Some elements have, but not a ton, just like really 1 or 2 elements. Yeah, so it's definitely been easier to read than some of her other books. Like, the 3 that I read that had religion in them, or religion in the murdering or the harming, was, what was it? Carolina Moon. Yeah, I read this one for my book club recently, so we talked spoilers about it on live with me and Vivian on our channels. And the main character's father, who was extremely abusive, is, like, basically the same denomination I am, so it was, like, not easy to read. And then book 5 and book 6 in the In Death series. One was killing because of Satanism, and one was killing because of Catholicism. So they were both, the way they were written, really difficult to read, obviously, with the first one. But like it was like they were on 3 times speed. This one I'm keeping on 1.75. So we're good. This one is really good. I really am liking it. I'm really liking the romance and how there's 2 completely different perspectives, and they are clashing, but they're also in love with each other. Like they have interest in each other, and so they're gonna have to work through that, or they're having to work through it. Another thing is I know a good bit of the details about the hero's trauma because of the prior book, because he tells that to the main character, the female main character in that book. And I think you know most of it right now in the book, halfway through it, but I know about how it all went down, because of that book. So that's also really interesting, and it's interesting to know they're gonna have like this perfect, beautiful marriage. Not perfect, but they're gonna be happy and all that kind of stuff. And right now they are currently fighting because of the way that the hero is treating her based on her profession. So yes, okay. I guess I will update later on whenever I am ready to chit chat again. Yeah, I'll see y'all then. Bye bye. This is completely random, but it is midnight right now, and I just finished making or working on my Nora Roberts spreadsheets. I have been working on this for a while now. I had one, and then I lost it, so then I had to restart. But I've been working on this, I guess, for a while. I would say, I don't know how long, but a while. And this is it. So I want to go over it real quick because I'm excited. So this first section is all of Nora Roberts' books. This is her full complete printable list on her website, but put into this form so that I can check off when I've read it and stuff like that, so I can I guess have easier access to it other than what's on my wall. And this is all the ones I've read by her in order with month and no, that's day. With month and day that I finished them, with ratings and series. I actually just added that today or yesterday. And then I have all of her series and the status of them and the year I started and finished, if I finished. And then I figured out how to do this so I could have 2 on these lines for a companion series, but there's only 1 up here, so it looks better. And then last but not least, I just finished this. It was really difficult to make. It took forever. But this is series. This is every book in every series she has, and I was working on this, and I finished most of it the other day, but I didn't do these, which I did, but then I also just finished doing In Death, which I was somewhere at the beginning of this, right when I started today, and I did all of the In Death books, plus notes for not my opinions, but just like featured in this, so you can find Taken In Death, the novella, in that collection. Sorry, my cat is chewing on a plastic bag. And then for Remember When has notes about how it's published later on, which I didn't know about until very, very recently, that Hot Rocks and Big Jack weren't novels. They were parts of this novel, so, or this novella, or this, it's not a novella, it's a full-length novel, I think, but it isn't like a full book in the series. Yeah, so I just wanted to go ahead and show that. Yeah, I don't know, I'm really liking it, and it's really nice to be able to update and also keep track of how many I've read by her, because after I deleted my Goodreads, I had no way of keeping track of that. And so once I finish Scared Sins, I'll put that there, and then be very close to 100. Exciting. Okay, bye-bye. Hello. So I'm gonna be updating here, but I'm not gonna be showing myself because I feel like I look a mess right now. So I'm just gonna film this clip, and then I'm gonna have an image or a video of some sort overlaying it, because I think I'm gonna prefer this method to just doing a voiceover, because I don't love the way voiceovers sound on iMovie. So yes, we're gonna do it this way. So it is the 28th of it's the 28th, and it's about 2:30 p.m. And I'm realizing today, realized a little bit earlier, that I need to read a book a day for the rest of the month to finish all of my books, to finish the 5 books I need to finish. Say Scared Sins, the 3 books in the series, and then Rebellion. I need to get on it, which means I need to finish Scared Sins today and then start something tomorrow, and finish a book every day for the rest of the month. So that's gonna be a lot, but I'm gonna hopefully be doing it. I think I'll be able to get through it. Those books are definitely gonna be shorter. I should be able to get through them within a day, hopefully. Yes, I'm gonna be probably gonna start my audiobook on like right now. And I'm gonna pull out my knitting, and I'm gonna work on that because I'm really close to being done with the body of my sweater. So I'm gonna work on that, and I'm gonna read, and hopefully I will be able to finish this book by the end of the day. So I'll update when I'm ready for that. Okay, talk to y'all then. Bye bye. Oh wait, also, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Whoop whoop whoop! Exciting, right? It's literally insane. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. I try not to have too like close parasocial relationships. Like it's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but kind of. It's like unrealistic. It's not real. It's like just like an idea in your head. It's a parasocial relationship. You really need to be careful with them. But like, I just love them so much, and I'm so happy they're engaged. I'm so happy they're engaged. I have talked about on live before criticizing Travis Kelce and his behavior was it the previous, not the last Super Bowl, but the one before that or stuff like that. I've talked about that before, but I'm really happy they're engaged. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, hello. So it is about 10:30 p.m. On the 27th, yeah. And I finished Scared Sins. Okay, yeah. So I finished it about an hour or two ago. Probably more like 2 hours ago. I finished it, I took a shower, then I ate dinner and like filled in all the things on the computer for the book. And then I've been sitting here for about, I don't know, almost an hour, I guess, letting my phone charge so that it wasn't like completely dead so I could film this clip. So yeah, I also cut cantaloupe after a little bit ago I did cut a cantaloupe up. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about this book and kind of just everything since basically the middle of it. So what a story. Really, really, really what a story. I'm giving it 5 stars. It was so good. It was better than the first one, which I don't know what rating I gave that. Maybe 4.75. This book was really spectacular, I would have to say. It was also a hard book to read. I didn't expect it to be that hard. Hello. I'm surprised she left. She likes to do that and stay. I feel a little dizzy right now, actually. Anyway, okay. I wasn't expecting it to be that difficult to read. It touched on so many different topics, and it was just not easy at some points, but at other points it was great and spectacular. So as the story moves on, they are obviously hunting for the killer, and things aren't going well. They do find, I don't remember how many bodies, and they probably find 2 more bodies, not sure how many though. They find more bodies, and the killer starts getting more and more attached to the heroine. Emotionally attached to the heroine. And I really liked the ending with how that wrapped up with him and kind of that storyline there, and how that kind of helped her with her she was dealing with something super emotional at the end of the book, and how that helped her with that, how the hero's trauma helped her with that, and how they both helped each other with that really hard thing they were going through. That was really hard. It was extremely hard to read, and all of the details leading up to that one thing happening were horrific for me to read. They were really bad, and I almost started crying reading it. And it was a lot. It was a lot reading those details, but I I'm sad that that happened, but I think that that kind of not had to happen for the story. I don't want to say that that person and the trauma was used as a plot line, but I think it did. I think it made sense that it happened in the story, even though it was hard to read. And I really wish it, part of me really wishes it didn't happen in the story, but at the same time, it maybe needed to happen for kind of things to progress the way they did. Not everything is perfect, and her profession isn't easy. Being the patient isn't easy. Going to a therapist isn't easy, even when you are consenting to it. So you're also following the storyline of her and another patient, a random patient. He is a 14, 15-year-old boy with depression, with alcoholism, and you're following them. You're in their sessions, and that is so hard to be there. It's really hard to be there. And as a patient, I mean, like, even as a patient consenting to the therapy, he was kind of forced into it. Even as a patient consenting to the therapy, it is hard to go. It is hard to be there. It's hard to sit there. And even if you have a great session afterwards, I'm drained. When I go to therapy afterwards, even if I have like a great session, we don't really talk about a lot that's deep, or we talk about things that are good, being emotional, you know, it can really drain you. That's how I feel about it. So reading just sessions of someone in therapy was difficult. But it was good. I did like that element, and kind of the way things wrap up with that, you know, was hard, but you know, here we are. What else? So I really liked the way you had the contrasting, like I talked about before, kind of a better version of Irish Rose, contrasting people that contrast each other very, very heavily. And as the book goes on, you kind of see that kind of evolve and be different things. Be different things with the killer, be different things with the killer and his mindset, his motives, and his religion. Like, those things are contrasting, even though they are supposed to be the same. The hero and heroine, society contrasting, beliefs contrasting, even the hero and his partner. Those people contrasting, because they're very, very different people. Yeah, so it goes into a lot of different things, which I wasn't expecting it to talk about. It talks about like finances and supporting a family. Should a family be supported on one income or two, and what that's like, and how the hero wants a 2-family income, like a 2-income household or whatever, right? Like the hero's like, you know, this should, like, that, I think that's the way it is. I think you should have that. And then, like, not other people disagreeing with him, but just like discussing whether it's necessary in the society. And I feel like for most people nowadays, it is pretty much necessary. Not for all families, but for a lot, that's necessary. But I guess back then it wasn't that. Like, it wasn't where it is today, right? And they talk about buying a house and the specific price of a house that is horribly run down right then and there, which I thought was interesting. I forget what the conversion is on the money. But yeah, which was really interesting. They talked about, what else did they talk about? They talked about people believing in good and bad. Like, the hero believes in good and bad. Good guys, bad guys. He's a good guy. The person on the other side of him is a bad guy. And the heroine believing in people, flawed people who do bad things and people who do good things, not good and bad people. And even though they have such radically different beliefs, they are still in love with each other. And I thought that was so interesting, really, really interesting to see that, to see the contrastingness of that happening. And then what else? Oh yeah, discussing, like, as you get into the book, some realizations happen with the villains, or the killer's trauma, and the discussion of how to talk about religion with kids. That wasn't necessarily like a big discussion in the book, or even, actually, it might not have even brought up. Maybe I just thought that in my head, but I think it was slightly brought up, right? Like, how to discuss religion with kids. I think these things need to be talked about, especially if you're a Christian parent, you're educating your children about, faith, but doing it in a way that doesn't, I don't know, make them have trauma, or make them have anxieties, or make them, be a certain way, or even, in this case, make them a killer. I liked that discussion, a discussion of like, kind of even like New Testament, Old Testament, kind of going there. Not that those things clash, but I'm not trying to suggest that, but kind of a discussion with that, with the villain being very like an eye for an eye, and kind of a priest that the police is working with being very much like forgiveness. So doing that and kind of that clashing, so many things that were just so beautiful in this book. Very a dichotomy of things meeting and being like, where are we at? And even the ending with the killer. I really liked that ending. It was really good. And it's also, interestingly enough, HFN. It's happy for now. Now, in book 2, you see them married. But, it was at least HFN at the end of that book. Yeah, kind of makes me want to reread book 2, because I just want to see, like, the progression, because you kind of, like, get cut off, and then you get to see, kind of the rest of the story right there. You also get to be in the perspective of the hero and the heroine from this book in the next book. So, yeah, very, very exciting, very enjoyable. I really loved it. I don't know what else I have to say. I've been, like, talking very quickly over the past 10 minutes I've been filming. But, yeah, I think I'm going to be starting The Last Honest Woman tomorrow, because I can separate it. I don't have to read, like all 3 together. I can read, Rebellion sometime in between, either book 1 and 2 or book 2 and 3. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with The Last Honest Woman next. And I'll start that tomorrow. Tonight, I'm probably going to listen to a cozy mystery and relax, because that book was pretty hard at the end. It was so difficult to read. So, yeah, I'm probably going to go do that. Probably just chill out and relax. Anything else I have to say? Oh, if you're going to read this book, check trigger warnings. I mean, if you feel like you're like, whatever, I don't care, you'll read anything, that's fine. But, if you, like, are thinking, oh, maybe there could be an issue, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. Especially around mental health issues, just check trigger warnings. And I put triggers for basically everything I could think of, on my Storygraph. So, and if you go on Storygraph for any book, you don't have to have an account, I don't think. You have to just look up the account, and then you can scroll down to triggers, and there are triggers for major, like, really graphic, like, slightly graphic, and barely mentioned kind of thing. Forget the exact words it uses. Anyway, okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, really, because I gotta get on this book. Okay, see y'all then. Bye-bye. Hello, good morning. So I'm gonna be starting The Last Honest Woman about, like, right now-ish. I think it might be almost the first time I talked this morning, more than just a few words. Yeah, so I'm about to start with that right now. It is the next day, the 28th, 29th, 28th, I think. And it is like 11:15-ish. The audiobook is gonna be between like 4 hours to like 3 hours and 20 minutes, depending on the speed I'm at, because I'm gonna have to see what speed's gonna be best for the book. But I'm about to start that. I don't have any other editions, so other than a first, so I'm gonna leave that on the shelf, and I'm just gonna get right into the audiobook. Okay, I'll talk to y'all when I'm update again. Bye. So it's only a little bit later, just like, I don't know how much later, like 15 minutes later or whatever. And I just feel like I have to update again. And I know I probably shouldn't, because this vlog is already going to be ridiculously long. But, I need to talk about this book already. So I just finished chapter 1, or I guess it was a prologue before chapter 1. And the 3 girls from the first 3 books I'll be reading this month are triplets, are surprise triplets. Which I was like totally not expecting. Like, the first scene is the birth scene. It's like an Irish couple who's like traveling, singing, in bars and stuff like that, and they have a son, and then she's pregnant, and the woman's pregnant, and you see her in labor, and she has one baby, and then more pain's coming, and they're like, oh, there's another one coming, and then the doctor goes into the waiting room, and it's like all of them are doing just fine, and he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, all of them? It's like, you have 3 daughters. And so it's honestly kind of awesome. That's so awesome. Just like, surprise, you have triplets, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, so yeah, so the book seems like, so the main character is, I think, the middle triplet, like the one that came out second. And she was married to a race car driver, it seems, and he is dead. And she has, I believe, I'm assuming 2 children with him, and she lives on a ranch. And a man is coming to interview her to write an autobiography, is that the right word? Biography on her husband, write a book about her husband, or her dead husband. And I'm assuming she's going to be falling in love with that man, and they're going to be having the romance. So this is really exciting. I'm really liking it so far. We haven't really met the kids. The kids just got home. But yeah. So he's going to be staying at her house. Like, he brought stuff with him. I'm like, why did he bring stuff with him? He's just coming for one interview. Nope. He's going to be living there, I think. So I'm very excited for this to happen. Her husband, they got together when she was 18. And I think they were together for like 3 or 4 years, and then he died 5 years ago. So she's like almost 30-ish, and I think he's already in his 30s, from what I can tell. Yeah, but I'm excited to continue. It's been pretty good so far. Okay. Hello. Okay, we're updating in my kitchen, and hopefully this will stay in the vlog. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so it's like 11-ish o'clock at night. That's what the oven says. What's the microwave say? Yeah, same time, 11:07 p.m. And I'm about to put dinner away for the night, and I just finished The Last Honest Woman by Nora Roberts. I haven't updated since basically I just started the book. So, honestly, a really interesting story. Editing Tina here, I cut out a little bit of this clip because I was basically describing what I had described in the previous clip, and so I just thought it was unnecessary, and I was also opening a Ziploc bag, so it was crinkling. I figured, let's just cut that out. But for context, I was talking about her husband and her relationship with her husband, so that's where I kind of start off in this clip. Who wasn't exactly a good husband in any way, shape, or form. There are some trigger warnings for that, and that's the only thing I can tell that was super triggering in the book. The details for that specific part I'm talking about are on Storygraph from other people who have already put it there. That's the only trigger warnings that are already there. And I think those are the only trigger warnings, at least that I noticed personally. Honestly, it was a pretty good book. Like how I was feeling with the other books I read so far, the other categories I've read so far. I was pretty nervous that it was going to be not good, but I feel like it was pretty good. And it did have that single parent vibe, like a lot of the other Noras I've been talking about this month have had in it. What else? There were emotional parts and like pretty graphic parts on some of those that triggering element, but I don't know. It wasn't like spectacular, but it wasn't like bad either. I'm gonna go with 4-star. I did enjoy the family element. It wasn't as pronounced as I would have liked it to have been. Kind of the same situation with Taming Natasha. That book, the family element isn't as pronounced for the exact same reason. The main character in these books, live in a different state than majority of their family. In Taming Natasha, she lives in Virginia, and everyone else in her family, for the most part, live in New York City. The family was okay, very, very eccentric. Irish parents who are performers at heart, truly, and then 3 different personalities in the daughters, who are the main characters of the first 3 books, like, individually. And then the brother who is, like, the older brother who is prancing around Europe. He, isn't really around that much. Just, like, a lot of, miscommunication, maybe? Is that the best way to describe it? Miscommunication, kind of, like, not telling each other things from, the 2 main characters. I don't know, I thought that I liked their relationship, but I thought that it was kind of a little bit like they both didn't like each other, or they both didn't like the concept of each other. Like this man moving into my home to interview me about my dead bastard of a husband, and, you know, this man being like, I'm interviewing this rich man's rich wife who is kind of, you know, who he doesn't like or respect anyway. He wants to get to the bottom of things. He wants to find out what's really going on with her in kind of like a shady way. And so he isn't exactly, like, they're kind of, he's not the nicest to her, but he loves her children, which I thought was really beautiful. Anything else to say about the book? Not really. It was okay. I liked, the ending was not that good, I guess I would say. I wish the ending, it was more tied up. A lot of her category romances do this, where there's conflict right up until, like, the last 5 minutes of the story, and then, boom, we're together. But that's kind of expected with her books, I feel like. What else? With her categories. I don't know if anything else I have to say specifically about the book. It was good. I'm excited to read the next one. Oh, never mind, actually. Okay, I think that's it for tonight. And I will be starting, I think I'll be starting the next book in the series, which is Dance of the Piper. Okay. Anything else I have to say? Nope. Okay. So I'll talk to y'all tomorrow when I'm ready to start our next book. See y'all then. Bye-bye. Hello. Okay. So it is like 2:40-ish p.m. on the 29th, and I'm about to start Dance of the Piper. I just have been just scrolling since I woke up at like 12 or whatever. Maybe 1-ish, probably, more like. And I just turned my air conditioner on. Then I realized, oh, I need to, you know, film a clip to start this. I'm like, I don't have to turn it off. So I came outside. So you're going to hear all the nature noises. So back to this. I am nervous. I think this might be editing Tina here. I was literally just rambling in this clip and didn't say anything of substance of what I was trying to get across. So I was just trying to say that he owns, or he ends up buying or whatever, the dance company she works for, or is hiring her production or whatever. And I was worried that he was going to be primarily focused on the money and not even caring about her art, and just making it, destroying the art just for the money. But you'll see my thoughts on that later. Okay. I believe this is her. The middle girl right there. But I could be wrong, though. Maybe that is her, because that coat was like a thing in book 1. So I'm going with that being her, but I could be wrong. Yes, so a bit nervous to start the book, but I gotta get into it. I'm a little excited, I guess, to start a new book, but, you know, I'm a bit nervous as well. What else do I have to say? Anything else I have to say? Not really. I mean, this sister was okay. Like, the sisters aren't, like, super, like, on their own. They're such different people. At least in the first book, you learn in the first book, you kind of learn how much different people they are. One sister being very reserved, isn't really talking to her family that much. And like I said last night, they're separated by space, right? Please ignore all of the cat hair on my shirt. But they're also separated, it seems, emotionally a lot more than in the other series I was talking about last night with Taming Natasha. I can never say that name. It is a Ukrainian last name. Can never say it. But they're separated emotionally, and they're such different people. Not that the siblings in that series weren't different people, but I think that's a point of it, is like they're twin sisters. I'm sorry, they're triplets, but they are such different individual people. One being very much reserved, one being very focused on a goal of, fame, and one just kind of being kind of all over the place, which I think makes sense for a younger sibling. I think it makes sense in their roles as, oldest, middle, youngest, being born within like less than 3 minutes of each other, each one. But I think that's what it's trying to be very different. But I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I don't know which one's going to be my favorite. Like a lot of other series, I know immediately which one or which two is my favorite out of, a group of siblings. Yeah, that's it then. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead inside and start reading. I'll talk to y'all when I need to update again. Bye-bye. Hello. Okay. It is like 4 p.m. on the 30th. It's the next day. And I did not finish my book yesterday. Not even close to getting finished. I'm halfway through it. I filmed this already 2 times. One last night and one just like a few minutes ago. And I'm a mess a little bit. I'm kind of all over the place, just rambling about literally everything other than the book. There's a lot going on. Not a lot going on. Like a lot in my head going on, I guess. For the weekend, I need to make a lot of lists. I'm going to make a list of all the lists I need to make, all the things I need to do to get it from my brain onto this piece of paper. And then we'll work from there. This is a good list to open to. I have a list right here to open to. Great. Good start for that. I need to do a lot. I want to oh my goodness gracious. It's Saturday. I want to have a very productive weekend. I'm going to get a bunch of stuff done. And then, finish my books as well. So I am only halfway through the book, but I'm absolutely loving it. It's spectacular. It's great. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. The main character is so eccentric. She kind of seemed eccentric, but like from the main character viewing her as eccentric. But I'm definitely excited to see her. I'm not excited to see her. I'm really loving seeing her from her perspective and her talking about her dead brother-in-law and stuff like that. And all those things. And the hero is actually very nice, even though he does own this company and he's kind of funding the production of this like dance performance musical thing. He is very kind. He's no intention of interfering with the art of what she's doing. And she likes him. She, doesn't have any problem with him. And very quickly they start a romantic kind of entanglement. They meet when she fights off a mugger because she needs to keep her ballet shoes in her bag. She's like, I'm not giving up my shoes. And she fights off a mugger. And he's like, what is going on here? Like, why? Don't do that. And she's like, I need my shoes. He's only 16. He's new. He doesn't know what he's doing. I've had other muggers before, and they know what they're doing. Okay, so it's kind of a funny, little bit of a dangerous meet cute there, but I'm really liking them. I'm really liking the storyline so far. Seems like he has some family trauma going on here as well, which I wasn't expecting, and which we really don't know much about it at all. Like, there's talkings of, like, what his mother did, but, like, there's nothing really revealed about what his mother actually did. So, I'm excited for that. I'm really enjoying the book. I'm going to read, and I'm probably going to start Rebellion after I finish this one. I'm going to work on my list. I'm going to knit, and I'm going to probably do a good bit of relaxing as well, as I always do. Yes, so I got to work on these things. I will get back to you when I need to update again. I really like this clip. Hopefully it is good. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Hello. Okay, so it is about 8-ish p.m. on the 29th. Still. No. Today's the 30th. Yeah, today's the 30th. Goodness gracious, if you have like no more time left in this month. But I just finished Dance to the Piper, and I don't know what I'm gonna give it. I literally just finished it a few seconds ago, so I haven't really thought about it yet. What am I gonna give this book? Maybe a 4.5? I'm thinking maybe a 4.5. I guess we will see. I guess I'll go with a 4.5 for now, and if that changes, I'll update y'all later on. I feel like not much happened in the second half of the book. It's just like the main character, the main female character being in love, and the main male character like dealing with his trauma from his mother, and the concept of being married and being in love is very hard for him because of his mother, you know, for reasons unknown yet. I theorized about them and I was correct about some things. But yes. So I don't really know if I have much to say about the rest of the book, what I read. It was fun. I really liked the performance. I really liked seeing her family. We got to see her mom. We got to see her mom and her dad. And then the character from the last book, her husband, the guy in that book. And also their children. And a couple updates on their life. What else did we get to see? We got to see a little bit of her other sister, the one that's for book 3. She wasn't like, she was there in a couple other scenes as well. Yeah, which I also liked, and I liked that dynamic there. I thought there was a little more to it that I wish there could have been, so it wasn't great. So maybe it's like a 4.25, but it was really enjoyable, really good book. I am not going to be going with the next one. I'm going to be switching over to Rebellion. This one, I basically know what it's about. Actually, maybe not. But I almost know what it's about. I think it's set in winter as well. Yes, I am not going to be reading like all the other ones. I'm not going to read this edition. I do have another copy of it that I can follow along in and put a bookmark in and stuff like that. It is a bind up of this book and In From the Cold, which is a novella. It's like, it's either book 7 or 6.5, depending on what you want to call it. And that I believe is taking place during the American Revolution, which is like really exciting. This one is taking place during like Scotland and England battling, which I don't really know a ton about. It is historical. I've read one other historical by Nora. That was the book right before this one in this series. And it took place in the 50s. So not that historical, but definitely historical. Okay, let me go grab that book and let's pick a bookmark. Okay, so I've got some colors to work with. This is the edition I'm going to be reading from, or at least following along in. I'll be listening to the audiobook on Audible. It is, Rebellion is most of this book, because In From the Cold is pretty short. That is Rebellion, and that is In From the Cold. I've got some colors here. Let me crack this spine so I know where that starts. Yeah, okay, here are the colors. We have C Flick, I don't know, something. Maybe not this color. Never mind, let's put that color back. Okay. Here are the colors I have. We have Ice Blue, which I feel like might work. Like it might, I don't know, maybe not. The camera obviously distorts the color a bit. But I feel like this is not going to be our choice. Yeah, no. Then, let's put that with the C one I didn't want. We have Cornwall, In the Neck, and Kate's Ring. I feel like Cornwall is a place in England. Could be wrong about that, though. If I look at this, like, I feel like Kate's Ring really works for this. It's a little bit purpley, too. Let's do these. Oh, yeah, Kate's Ring definitely works. So we're going to use that. Okay, so we have our bookmark. We're ready to read. I don't know if I'm going to start it right now or if I'm going to wait until a little bit later tonight. But I'm hoping to start it by the end of tonight because I have to finish 2 more books. Yes, so I guess we'll see. But I'll talk to y'all when I'm ready to start this book or need to update again. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, hello. I might look a mess. Oh, I didn't know that looked like that until I turned the camera on. Okay. It is almost 4 p.m. on the 30th. Okay, there we go. I don't like the way my hair looks right now, or my hair feels on my body. I just want it up and out the way, so I'm doing this. It might not look great, but here we are in life. So, I have read some more of Rebellion. I grabbed the other copy when I came out here. There's 15 chapters and an epilogue and a prologue. And I finished chapter 7. Finished chapter 7? Yeah, finished chapter 7. It's disappointing so far. I feel like it's not as good as I wanted it to be. I feel like their relationship is very violent. I don't know. I just, like, her mother, so I don't know if I talked about this before or not, but it's basically about a Scottish woman, who, they're fighting the fight against the British. I don't really know, like, any details about it really at all, about war and stuff like that. And 10 years ago, when she was, a young girl, exactly 10 years ago, her, British men came to the house when her brother and her father were out hunting, and they raped her mother. And then what they did was, she was downstairs. Her mom told her to take her little sister and her baby brother upstairs. And she told them to go upstairs, and she went to, fight them. And she, got a couple, hits in or whatever, but they drug her upstairs and locked her in the room, and then they raped her mother. And then they unlocked the door and threw her mother into the room with them, and then left. And so she took care of her mother until her father and her brother got home, and then told them what happened. So she hates the British. She hates them. But her brother's best friend nowadays, 10 years later, right, is a British man. He's half British, half Scottish, and so they're coming to fight the fight. They're gonna fight together, and so they're coming to his house, and she hates him. She hates his guts, but he's also violent with her. Don't love that. They're both violent with each other. They're they're full out fighting, physically fighting each other. And most of the time he is winning. She is hurting him a bit, but he's winning. And it just is not the vibe. I don't like that. So, I guess maybe, I don't know. I get it. I understand why some people would like it. No criticism. I used to read stuff like this all the time, but I just, nowadays, not my thing. So, I don't know how I feel about it. Here's the other thing. It's winter. It's a wintry book. I think I'm going to put this book down. Crazy take. I'm going to put this book down for now. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to put this book down for now. And I'm going to start Skin Deep. I think I can read this today. I think I can finish it by the end of the day. I also want to finish a cozy and do some eye reading with another cozy as well. So I want to get things done finished because September 1st is right around the corner. Literally, I'm going to be making a mocktail. I got supplies out to make a mocktail, and I haven't done anything with it. September 1st is right around the corner, literally tomorrow, and I'm ready to celebrate fall. I'm ready to get into the burrs. This book is set in winter, and maybe I should just wait till tomorrow to read on it more. And that'll be the first book I finish in September, right? And that'll be kind of a marking of the burrs. So I think I'm going to do Skin Deep, and then we will go from there, I guess. I don't know. I did say I'm going to finish. I did look back on the beginning of my vlog, and I did say that I'm going to finish all of the books this month. I don't want to rush my reads. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you shouldn't do that. Or I feel like I don't want to do that. Since June of 2022, what happened in June of 2024? Yeah. It was a disaster. And I read so many books, and I was I can't. My brain was like fried. And I'm like, I can't do this to myself anymore. So I'm gonna prioritize that. I'm not gonna rush my reads, and I'm gonna start Skin Deep. Basically, like right now, I'm making a mocktail. I'm excited to do that. Tastes fine. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye. My hair is even more of a mess now. Ignore that. Okay, I'm on chapter 3. I haven't even finished chapter 3 yet. Main character is when she's an actor. She's the oldest of all the siblings. Discussing, like, I think the book's going to talk about, and it's going to kind of confuse me maybe a little bit, like the dichotomy of who you are in public and who you are in private, and kind of discussing personas and stuff like that. I don't need to talk about that right now. But on to the love interest and how this book's going. So she has a stalker, or a man, an admirer, that's what it's called. An obsessed admirer, that's what it says on the back of the book. And it's getting bad, and she doesn't want to call the police because she doesn't want the police involved in it, because of publicity and stuff like that. Just like she doesn't want people knowing. And so her agent, who's a really close friend of hers, hires. It's like, you really should hire this private investigator I know, who was like in like maybe the army or something like that. And remember how I said like 10 minutes ago that's not my kind of book? I am like, like, this is what I used to, like, this is what I used to feel like when I read romance. Like, I just feel like this all the time, just like giddy about it, because it's so good. And he reminds me of a character that, the hero, reminds me of a character from when I was younger. So Damon Salvatore, he looks, in my opinion, he looks like Damon Salvatore. He kind of looks like Damon Salvatore on the cover. Like, look at that, that's Damon Salvatore. What's his name? Ian Somerhalder, right? I'm liking it, and I feel like I'm not back in my romance era, but if I was, like, this is the feeling I would have. Like, this is the feeling I have. Okay, we're doing another kitchen update clip, because I want to get something done, and maybe I could wait like 10 minutes for filming it, but I want to get something done out here. But also because I have my fan on in my window, and I don't feel like taking it out to film in my room, because I just don't want to film with the window open at 12:03 a.m. Okay, I have finished the last, I think, hopefully, assuming, probably gonna be last book for the month. Actually, nope, it's actually 12 right now. My stove clock was wrong. It just turned 12. Happy September, happy the burr season. Now this is officially started. And I just finished, I finished a few hours ago actually, Skin Deep, which might be the last book. We'll see. This isn't gonna be the end clip of the vlog. I'm gonna film a wrap-up clip to the vlog. But for now, this is what we got until I wrap it up, or I decide to continue Rebellion in this vlog. We'll see. I finished Skin Deep. That book was spectacular. It was spectacular. There was a reveal at the end. The main character had a lot going on in her past. Kind of a similar reveal to Taming Natasha, which felt very like nostalgic to see that reveal. Horribly sad to see what happened though, of course. What happened in this main character's life. I put trigger warnings for it on the book on Storygraph. From that specific thing in like minor, and then like another thing that happened throughout the book, but I didn't put it for anything else, like the stalking that was happening and stuff like that, because I just thought that was like obvious from the synopsis, and this was very much of a reveal plot twist. They both were reveals and plot twists. The thing I put in there a little bit. So yeah, anyway, so yes, this book was spectacular though. I absolutely loved it. This book, what else happened in the book? I don't know if anything else I have to say. I feel like everything's gonna be a spoiler, but they just like slowly start to fall in love with each other, and they just absolutely are in love, and they haven't like admitted it to each other, and then they're just like they're always fighting, and then something happens, fighting and something happens, And I really liked the end. We got to see her family as well. Towards the end, we got to see Maddie's, that's her name, yeah, Maddie's wedding, the girl from book 1. I'm sorry, the girl from book 2. And we got to see that. That was really cute. We got to see her dad and him talking and having some conversations about life and marriage and stuff like that, and that was really cute. Anything else? No, I don't know. I'm giving it a 4.75 stars. It was a really enjoyable book. Absolutely loved it. Best one so far. Not of the month, but of this series. And I'm really excited to read Without a Trace. I don't know when I'm going to read that, but I want to read it soon. It's about the brother. And like, the brother is like, they don't even know, no one knows in the family what the brother does for a living. Because he's so much just like out of their realm. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I have to say. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make some pie. I'm gonna make some pumpkin pie. My parents can have it in the morning, and then I'm also gonna make bread. So yeah, I have that in the refrigerator. That's gotta rise for a few more hours, but I'm gonna start the pie now. And yeah, okay, well, I'll talk to y'all when I'm either ready to talk more about Rebellion or wrap up this vlog. Okay, this has been so fun. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye. Okay, so it's like 4 a.m. I basically just got done baking. Yeah, just got done baking, took a shower, and while I was some of the time while I was baking, I was listening to Rebellion. So I'm gonna be continuing Rebellion right now, just like now, not physically right now. I'm about to go to sleep. But I'm gonna be my brain's not working. I'm gonna be continuing reading Rebellion for this vlog. Okay, I'm really tired. I'm about to go to sleep. I'll talk to y'all later. It is 11:59 on the 3rd. Yeah, I think the 3rd. And I just finished Rebellion. One of the best books I've ever read in my whole entire life. I feel like I need to reread it, especially the beginning, because I didn't like the beginning. Definitely a big difference from when the last time I updated. Sorry about like a mess. I was gonna fall asleep like 3 hours ago, but I just stayed up and was scrolling and didn't get to finish the last 7 minutes of the book for hours. I was just like, I don't feel like doing it. So here we are, just finished. Just one of the best books of all time. Literally so fantastic, spectacular, amazing, beautiful, everything in between. The story morphs from like a kind of unconsensual enemies to lovers trauma vibe to family, war, and life. And it morphs from that pretty rapidly. And it is so interesting. I can't get into it without talking spoilers, which I think I'm going to need to talk about, but we'll see as this clip goes on when I decide to start discussing spoilers, because, oh my gosh, if I do, we'll see. And it was just, it was a ride. It was absolutely a ride. It was crazy. A lot of things happened. You saw a lot. There was some pretty, I guess not like ultra graphic. It could have been worse, but it was pretty graphic on wounds, people taking care of wounds, saving people's lives, all that kind of stuff, and people being slaughtered in war. I don't know much about Scottish history or the wars that happened. I read Outlander, and I read the first book, so I didn't really get to any of the big stuff. And it's hard knowing, I was pretty sure, I had to look it up, it was hard, I had to look it up while reading the book. I was pretty sure that the Scottish lost the war, and to see the characters fighting in a war I know they're gonna lose, and they're so willing to truly die for this war, to die for this country, and I know they're not going to win. That's hard. I really liked the way Nora wrote that. I really liked the way Nora kind of worked around the fact that we are fighting a losing battle. The main characters don't know it. They think they're gonna win. Like in every other book where there's a war, you think you're gonna win, and typically they do win. But in this situation, this is real life. This is real life. And that is the horrific part of it, is you're seeing one family, multiple love stories, multiple life stories, multiple childhoods, multiple marriages be extremely affected by war. To imagine that's happening to however many people were in the war on both sides, not just talking Scottish people, but also the British, the people in the towns who weren't actually involved, right? Like Serena's mother. There wasn't really that much going on then, from what I could tell. I could be wrong, but it was 10 years prior. It was in 1735. There wasn't much going on then. Yes, the father, Ian, is a Klansman. He's a clan leader. From what I can tell, he's a lord. But they're not really involved. Yet the British men come into her house and harm her. You know, that being a piece of the book, having that and having the tie that the main character hates British people. The main character hates British people, and the journey of her coming to love a British man, and then to also have to fight the British, and to have to be in that mindset and to be in that headspace, it's very interesting. I just love Nora, and I love the way she writes. Like, she cooked with this book. She did really well with this book, using historic, real life actions, and shaping that around. It seemed like she did some research on some of those elements as well. Typically, Nora has, great research in her books. I feel like knows a lot about a lot of subjects. What else do I have to say that's non-spoiler? No, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing else. I'm gonna say that there's nothing really else I'm gonna say that's non-spoiler. So I'm gonna put an image on the screen, and that'll be a marker as a spoiler. So once that starts, and once that gets on the screen, spoilers are going to start, and once it gets off the screen, spoilers are going to be end. So you can end it, so you can unmute, whatever. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello. Okay, so presumably, obviously, we kind of expect this. I guess it's not that big of a spoiler for this part, but it was the infamous battle that happened in the war. Calhoun. I'm gonna go with Calhoun. Horrific. I looked at some details about it and stuff like that. Very, very minor details, because I'm not good with learning about stuff like that. I don't handle those details very well. Yeah, okay. So the fact that the main character and her husband, eventually they get married in the book, but prior to that, they are separated for a good bit of the book. He is off in England and doing a bunch of stuff, and being heavily involved with Prince Charles, speaking to Prince Charles, King Charles, the future potential king that ends up not actually getting to be on the throne. I thought that was absolutely so interesting and crazy to read about, seeing the main character's pain and grief about that, worrying that he'd come back and not love her. Obviously he does, and then her brother. I really liked that storyline. Her brother ends up with her best friend, and they get married like that, and she gets pregnant like that, and seeing her be pregnant, and seeing her, it be the only women in the house, other than the hero's like butler or whatever. It's only women in the house, and they're all having to deal with the fact that she's pregnant and he's not there. And once the war really ramps up, they're alone, and it's scary, because they are completely alone. At the beginning they were there here and there, but or they were in England, or they were in somewhere else, but it was their home alone, and she could give birth anytime. What's gonna happen? Now Gwen, the little sister, is a doctor, or is kind of becoming a doctor, or is into medicine, I guess. That's really what it is. And the scene where she gives birth without Cal. I'm sorry, not without Cal. Yeah, without Cal, without the brother there, without her husband there. It is so horrific. It's so sad. And it's sad, but it's beautiful. Right? 'Cause she keeps like calling to him, and like just like calling his name, and like, I need him, I need him, I need him. And she can't have him. He could be dead right now. While the birth scene is happening, while she's giving birth, which is a span over 2 days, so I guess a portion of it is happening, or at least when you're reading the book, it's happening while you're going back and forth between the Battle of Calhoun, or whatever the hell it's called. And so you're having fighting, you're having action on both sides. You're having a woman laboring for 2 days, wanting her husband, who could potentially be dead, is in agonizing pain, could die, her baby could die, and then you're reading a man fighting for his life, in a horrific battle that you know his side is going to lose. You 100% know that. I guess Nora could have rewritten it. I think that could have been interesting, to have the Scots win, but generally, I mean, I understood why she wouldn't do that. That maybe might be disrespectful. And that's so interesting to see that. I mean, it's bad. The fight scenes are bad. The main character, the main hero, he gets shot, and it is also horrible. And for a portion of the end of the book, they're living in a cave. It's the main character, her mother, her little sister, the like person who takes care of the house, and then the sister-in-law, and then the baby, and then the hero's like maid, right? The hero's guy who's always with him, and then also the younger brother and him, they are the ones that are going out, that they're kind of like, no, you guys aren't going out and like trying to go back to the house and make sure the boys don't come home. If they come home, they could come home to a house full of British people, right? So they need to make sure that they're going every couple hours to not spy, but look at the house and just make sure that they're not coming home. And if they come home, they're going to lead them to the cave. And so it is so interesting. I mean, we're living in a cave for a portion of the book, and you know, the woman who gave birth, she's trying to recover. It was a very, very hard birth. And, you know, things start to go well, and then the boys get back from the battle, and that is really hard because he's about to die, and they have to do stuff to him, and it's bad, okay? They're giving him, like, milk of the poppy or whatever. I don't know I think that's a word from Game of Thrones, but it's basically like morphine, right? It's like heroin, kind of, maybe? I don't know anything about that. It's something of the sort. They're giving him some sort of anesthetic, but like, it's kind of it's pretty graphic what they do to him to like get the bullet out. And it's so raw. It's so crazy to read that. The female main character is like, I'm gonna hold him down, and her brother's like, let me do it. Go, like hold the baby or something. Let me, you know, hold him down. She's like, no, I'm holding him down. And she's the one who does it, and it's a lot to read. What else happens? So things start to get like better. They figure out they're having to flee. They end up going to the Isle of Skye, which I could be wrong, but I think it might be an island that I watch a girl who lives on the island. It's a very small population island. I could be wrong though. It might be the wrong island. It's a very small population island, but she shows her life on the island, and it's so interesting. They all end up fleeing to there, but at the end of the book, you know, the male main character, he's like, I think I know where we need to go, at least for now, you know, and they talk about it, and she's like, eventually there will be McGregors on that land again, you know, where she grew up, but I understand for now we have to leave, or it's best for us to leave. So, the two maids, the two helpers, they are married now. Good for them. They're going with them. Two main characters, the baby, because the main character's pregnant, forgot to mention that. And then Malcolm and Gwen are coming, the little siblings, who aren't little anymore. They're all going to America. Oh my god, so exciting. Okay, hold on. So everyone else is staying on the Isle of Skye, for now. And King Charles, just got to the Isle of Skye as well, Prince Charles. So, In From the Cold is set in America during the American Revolution. Crazy. I'm so excited for this one. And this is, I believe, the child of the main character's brother and best friend, Ian McGregor, which is the name of the dad in this book, the main character's father, who passes in a battle before Calhoun, months before Calhoun. But yes, so that's also how the McGregor name keeps continuing down, is, that's, I love that so much, because the main character doesn't have the McGregor name anymore, though she still considers herself a McGregor. I think that's it for the spoiler bit. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello? No more spoilers. So, I think I ranted for a while there about that, but this book was so good. 5 stars, obviously. I will be doing a wrap-up, later. Obviously, I'm not going to film that right now, because I'm probably going to go work on spreadsheets for a little bit, actually. We'll figure that out, but, we'll figure out what I'm doing tonight. That's not really important to this vlog. So I finished it a little bit late, but I don't really care. And then also I'm going to be highlighting on the wall, highlighting on the thing on the wall. I might do that right now and just film it and put it in, as the final clip, as one of the final clips. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to do the wrap up, but I'll talk to y'all when I'm ready to do that. Okay, bye-bye. Hello. Okay. It is time to wrap up this vlog. I don't want to talk too much, because this vlog is already way too long. I'm so sorry it was long. I didn't realize that. But maybe I shouldn't have vlogged 8 books in one video. Okay. So, sorry if the end was a lot, there was a lot going on, or I just wasn't talking properly about the books. I think I was just, rushing and out of it a little bit. So sorry if I didn't describe the books well enough, or I was rambling. I mean, I'm always rambling. I'm kind of rambling right now. So I do want this to be a series. I really, really enjoyed vlogging it, and I want to do this again. I'm planning on doing it in November. I'm currently filming this on Halloween. So I'm gonna be posting it today, hopefully. So I want this to be a series, so I figured I would give a rating to the year I read from, 1988, and I'll give a rating to how I felt about that year, how I felt about the books from the year, and I guess we'll see how I feel about the next year I read. I already know what I'm going to read for that. I have that ready to go. Okay, so I think I'm going to give this year a 4.5. There were some, absolutely amazing books. There weren't necessarily bad ones, but ones that weren't, great. So but I think a 4.5 out of 5 stars is, a really good enough rating. So we're going with that. Anything else I have to say for this vlog? No. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched this whole entire video, wow, I'm shocked. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a really good month in August or September, and happy Halloween. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.